Welcome to the Levrige Show. This is Brett Ingram. And today I want to share with you 5 ways to build a real connection and build a relationship with your audience, your prospects, and your customers. Now, you might be thinking, well, why do we want to do this? Or why is this important in the first place? Everyone says that it is, but is it really that important? Does it even really matter? The reason that you want to develop a relationship with your audience and with your prospects and with your customers is that if you don't have any relationship, you're forced to sell to them. You need to pitch them on all the reasons they need to buy your product, the reasons they need to spend money on your service. And at the end of the day, people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. And that is the difference between being able to develop a relationship and not having a relationship. If you have zero relationship with your audience and it's a cold interaction, you need to focus on the product, its benefits. You need to really lay it all out. You need to make sure that you have a very strong sales pitch and all of these other marketing factors in order to get people convinced to buy it. Now, if on the other hand, you have a good relationship with your prospects, the rest of the stuff doesn't need to quite be as polished. It doesn't need to be as good. It doesn't need to be as effective. As long as the product is good and you have a relationship there, you're going to be able to make sales. I'll give you a quick example of this, and then we'll jump into the 5 ways. So there's one of the guys that I follow online. I followed him for years, and I respect him a lot. I like the way that he's built his business. And he was talking about a course that he had created, an online course that was teaching entrepreneurs how to build an online business. And it was like a $500 course or something like that. And so he's going through like the Facebook comments when he had launched this product. And one of the comments in there, and there were actually a number that were like this, but one of them in particular stood out to him because it was from a guy that said, "Ryan, I bought this product from you. I signed up for this coaching program on the recommendation from my buddy, John or whatever it was. I don't know you. I've never had an opportunity to meet you yet, but I've heard such good things that I'm going to invest the money and take a chance." Now, this guy, think about this for a second, spent $500 to get something that he didn't even know. But the relationship that Ryan had built with his customer was so strong that he had recommended him, and on that recommendation, this person went and bought it. So it even extends beyond making sales to your immediate audience. The fact is, when you have that relationship, they're going to turn around and tell other people who are going to tell other people, and it spreads that way. So you want to build that relationship, and it eliminates the need for the hard selling. It eliminates the need for the fancy sales tactics and marketing tips and all those other like tricks and gadgets and all that other stuff. So let's talk about what those 5 ways are to really start to build that relationship. The first thing, plain and simple, but it's harder than it sounds, is to just be real and be genuine. A lot of times we get a little stiff when we start thinking about marketing. We start to get corporate and we start to think about, well, what can I say that's going to convince them to buy? Just be yourself. Be who you are. Let that message, let that voice come through. Because if you've started a business to make a difference for people, sure, you want to make money and all that other stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Anybody that says, it's wrong to build a business to make money, it's ridiculous. You deserve to be compensated and rewarded for helping other people. But the reality of it is, focus on the value that you're trying to provide. And whatever that value is, just be honest and upfront about it. You know that that's what it's there for. So be who you are. What motivated you to start this business in the first place? What problem are you solving? And be real and genuine about who you are. If you're somebody that likes to, curse every 4th and 5th word, maybe that's a strategy that works for you. If you're somebody that likes to tell jokes, or you like to dress up in funny costumes, that's fine. Be who you are. There is no right or wrong. Your audience will resonate with you when you are real and you are genuine and you are authentic. There's a lot of phonies out there. So that's step one, just in and of itself. Harder than it sounds, but really effective. The second thing is to take a stand and commit to it. You know, another fear that a lot of people have, and I'm guilty of it myself, is you don't want to alienate anybody. You know, if you have a product especially and you think, oh, well, this could work for this group and that group, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to say anything that's a little controversial. You know what I mean? So I'm going to keep it. Look, if you have a really strong stance, you know, and you believe that whatever, green hats should be outlawed, then take a stand. You know what I mean? And say, this is why I think green hats should be outlawed. You know, the color of green, when it's worn on someone's head, you know, it makes people around them angry. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But take a stand. Don't be afraid to commit to that. Because again, the people that care about that, it will resonate and they will also be drawn to you. When you start to get lukewarm and you start to not be anybody for anything, then nobody's going to be, you know, drawn to you either, because you don't stand for anything. There isn't any cause that they can get behind. The third tip is to be vulnerable. You know, again, sometimes we feel as the business owner, as the solution provider, like we need to be perfect. We need to have all the answers. You know, we woke up one day just perfect geniuses. We knew exactly what our market wanted. We knew exactly how to help people. We never stumble. We never make a misstep. Everybody knows that's false. Look, most of the wildly successful people that you'll see in the world, if you don't know their story, look into it. And what you will find is they've failed, and a lot of times over and over and over again. And they've made mistakes even with the current business that they're running. So be vulnerable, be honest, admit stuff. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I want to ask you, hey, did I screw up here? Did this offend you? Did I make a mistake with this? Was this product offering off base? You know, whatever it is, when you're honest and you just admit it and sort of let that elephant in the room come out, it sort of lets the air out of that tension bubble. And again, it builds trust because people see that you're willing to be vulnerable. You're willing to admit you're human, and that makes you more like them because they feel exactly the same way. Now, the fourth thing is to try to elicit emotion, not in a, you know, contrived sort of marketing sense, but if you have stories to tell or you have things that you can offer that will make people laugh or it'll make people cry, or it'll make people feel emotional about whatever it is the story is you're going to tell, that builds connection. Tell stories, you know, and let that emotion come through. You know, let people feel that way. Let them get into your shoes for a minute. Let them feel what you felt or see what you saw. And when you do that, it really creates a connection with somebody. And it doesn't all have to be, you know, negative or sad. Happy stuff is the same way. Make them laugh. You know, you can tell jokes. You can be funny. There's nothing wrong with that either. It makes people feel human. It makes people feel good. And when they do that, they feel a connection with people like that. I mean, think about it in your own life, with the people you do business with, whether they're, you know, contractors or companies or, you know, shop owners or whatever. Where are the places that you go back to over and over again? And I bet you'll find that invariably you're going to find these qualities, you're going to find these characteristics with those people that you do business with over and over and over again. And then the fifth thing is to give value in advance. This is sort of the more marketing side of things because it's a little bit less tied to the fluffy or the soft stuff, in the sense that give value in advance. If you know that someone is suffering from whatever condition and you have a solution, give them part of that solution in advance. I understand that you want to sell a product. You want to give them the real solution and make money on that. But give them the steps, you know what I mean? Or give them the framework, or give them the first part of it. Let them experience some of that benefit first. Then you could say, hey, if you like that, you're going to love this. And you could show them the other product, the full scale thing. But give them some real value in advance. When you do that, again, you build trust. What says to somebody more that you can solve their problem than when you do it for free? You know, when you get them to step 1 of the 5 steps that they want to get through for free, they're going to be much more likely, much more willing, and need a lot less marketing and arm twisting to spend the money with you to get the rest of the solution, because you've already helped them. And that is going to go a long way in terms of being able to build your value with them, build your relationship, and build your connection. Those are 5 easy ways that you can start immediately to build a connection with prospects, customers, and the audience in general. And when you do, it will make the marketing side of things, the arm twisting, the hard selling, all stuff that you don't need to worry about anymore, because people are going to want to buy from you instead of being sold by you. As always, if you have any questions or comments, share them with me at levrigeshow.com or tweet them at #levrigeshow. And until next time, make it happen.